Hello. Today we are going to revise certain aspects of the simple past. In particular, I want you to remember, as usual, that there are two main groups that are very important in the affirmative. We have regular verbs, and those are the ones that are going to create the past simple with ed, like played, played, and then we have the irregular verbs. Those you have to learn by heart, the three columns, like go, went, gone. Today I want to focus on how to create the ed of regular verbs. So please remember that in general, the general rule is that we add ed, like in played, play, played, or we add a d if the verb already ends in e, like the verb like, it becomes liked, or that verbs that end in consonant plus y will change the y for an I, like for example in study, studied. Same thing we did with the plurals, for example. The y was changed into an I. That's what happens here. So study, studied. And then we also have the cases in which we duplicate the consonant before adding the ed. A rule that we already studied with the ing and that we need to remember here. So for example, from stop, we get stopped with two P's. Let's focus on these last rule, the duplication rule, or travel, travel. So it is the same as with the ing, which we have recently studied, but in this case, it's only going to happen with regular verbs, of course, because irregular verbs have their own forms. So remember, if it is a one-syllable verb, like stop, ended in one vowel and one consonant, then we need to double the consonant to create the ed form. So stop, stopped with two P's. Remember also, if the verb has more than one syllable but ends in a stressed syllable, and again has only one consonant, one vowel, and one consonant at the end, we will also have to duplicate it, like regret, regretted with double T, or prefer, preferred with double R. Why? Because the stress is on the last syllable, and we just have one single vowel, one single consonant at the end. And finally, remember that if the verb ends in EL, like travel, we have to duplicate the L, traveled, at least in British English. Remember that American English doesn't duplicate. Okay, we never duplicate if there are two consonants at the end. So walk, for example, ends in two consonants, L and K. So walked doesn't duplicate the K. If there are two vowels, we don't duplicate. For example, explain has two vowels, A and I. So explained in the past has only got one N. And we never duplicate if it ends in E, even if it is silent. So for example, escape, escaped is only written with one P. Okay. And remember that this rule doesn't apply regular verbs because we have to learn the past simple colon and the past participle colon by heart anyway, like go, went, gone, or cut, 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 or have, had. Remember that this rule does not apply neither for the negative form. We do not need to form the ed to create the negative form because the negative form in English in the past is always, except with the verb to be, created with didn't. So I didn't study, always the infinitive after didn't. You didn't have dinner yesterday. Mary didn't go to the cinema last Saturday. The students didn't study English last month. And in fact, it doesn't matter if the verb is regular, like study, studied, or irregular, like have, had, or go, went, gone. It is always didn't plus the infinitive, study, have, go, or study again. Okay? So very important. The ed only applies the affirmative, never the negative form.